I have a super easy scallop recipe and a little side to go with it. If you like scallops or if you are not used to cooking them, I hope you enjoy. This is coming up on the Last Minute Cook. Hi, I'm Deborah. You're watching the Last Minute Cook, where I share delicious recipes that are quick so that you can make dinner at the last minute and feel good about what you're serving. If you're new here, consider subscribing and ring the little bell so you'll be notified of my episodes as they're posted. Also, reach out to me in the comments below with any questions and even just to say hello. I'd love to hear from you. So reach out in the comments. All right, this is a super easy scallop recipe. If you're not used to cooking with scallops, this is going to give you a great introduction of what to do with them. And this can be used for any sauce base that you're going to do. So this is just a super easy, but even without the gourmet crazy sauces that you see out there, this recipe that I'm sharing with you today, these scallops are so good, just the way they are. Okay, we had scallops, we found them wild caught at our local store, so we grabbed them, and these are the scallops. They were in a much larger, but I'm going to do 4, but you can find them in different quantities or just fresh right out of the little ice bin, but the scallops look like this. And to get started, we're going to prep them. Meanwhile, our skillet, we want to get that on a nice high, medium-high heat because we're going to be searing them, so we need our skillet to be nice and hot. And to prep them, we want to make sure that they're dry because to sear them, you don't want them to have moisture. So make sure you get a paper towel and just go ahead and pat dry all the sides. All the sides. There's 2 sides. Okay, so pat dry those. If you don't pat them dry, you'll still be able to cook them. They just won't get that nice seared effect. They'll be more kind of almost like, I wouldn't say boiled, but steamed, whatever. But the drying of them helps them tremendously with searing the outside. So that's important. And once those are dry, we're going to prep a plate with we want some salt on our plate. This is a pink Himalayan salt, but you can use regular white salt, whatever salt that you've got. A good amount of salt there. And a little bit of freshly cracked black pepper. Not too heavy, probably. Okay. And a little bit of paprika. Don't go too heavy on it, but a little bit. Just sprinkle that on your plate, get it ready. You can add more of these as you're going with your scallops. You can add any or all 3 of these as needed to your plate. Okay, because you're going to want some color on your scallops. So get that set aside. And again, we're going to make sure our skillet is nice and hot. And we take our patted dry scallop, and we're just going to make sure we pat both sides of it nicely. And just make sure it's nicely coated, kind of all around. There we go. That's what you're looking for, right there. Okay, get that set. And the next one, just kind of do this on all of your scallops. I'm just doing 4 right now, but you can, of course, do as many as you like. Scallops are nice and hearty and filling. Tilt your pan around and coat it. Give the oil a chance to get nice and hot. So our skillet was hot. Now we need to let the oil get nice and hot because when we hit that scallop onto that oil, we want it to sear. The sides that we're going to serve with these scallops is a nice zucchini kind of salad. So I'm just going to get my zucchini prepped while my oil is heating using the little side slicer here on my cheese grater. Of course, if you have a mandolin, you can use that. And those are prepped, and we're going to get a little bit of oil into our other skillet, which is also nice and warm. And don't need a ton of oil in that, just like a teaspoon or 2. Of course, if you're using more zucchini, this is about a half a zucchini, so just about a teaspoon. And we're going to coat that as well. Just coat your pan. We don't want any sticking. And the zucchini are less picky than the scallop. They can go ahead and go on in. We don't have to be super, super duper hot on that. Ooh, can hear that going. Just kind of try to get as close to an even layer as possible with this. I'm not adding garlic or anything. If you'd like to add some garlic, you can. to this, but I think as a side with this scallops, the way we're cooking these, they just go so beautifully together. Okay, as our zucchini are getting cooked down, we are going to get our scallops right in and get nice and hot. Should get a nice sizzle. Have your splatter screen ready to go. Okay, don't crowd your scallops. Let them have some space so that they'll sear nicely. And they don't steam in between. We don't want that. So nice hot skillet, nice hot oil, and some space between your scallops. That's what we want. And this just takes a minute or so. We're just gonna let the scallops sit, let them kind of crust. And they do that best if we kind of just leave them alone. So we're gonna do that for just a minute. As your scallops are cooking, we're waiting for the bottom to show us just a little bit of browning coming up on the edges. When you see that, it's time to flip them. You can cook them to whatever level of doneness that you want. See, that brown is beautiful. But if you want them like a kind of like a medium rare, I guess that's what you'd say, then don't let them cook for too long. Just as soon as you start to see that brown edge, just a tiny little bit, kind of give it a look underneath. And if you see this beautiful kind of golden brown, and you can feel a little bit of crispness going on, that's what we want. I'm gonna give my zucchini a little turn here. They're starting to cook down, and what I want for them is to just become a little kind of golden, a little bit of browning and a little bit of golden. If you've not had a chance to see my zucchini pasta, definitely check that out. It's very similar with the cooking down of the zucchini. And this is just delicious. Thinly sliced zucchini and oil, sometimes with a little bit of garlic, so good. So check that out. All right, so our scallops are done. This is what we want. I'm gonna turn the heat off. Turn the heat up on my zucchini. Turn the heat off on our scallops and get them out. This is only a couple of minutes per side of searing, and you get this beautiful, crisp outside, this kind of almost like a crust that it forms. Can you see that? How pretty that is? And then the inside will be nice and tender with that beautiful golden color. Okay, and check this side, look at that. Oh, you guys, that's so pretty, it's so pretty. Ah, do you know it? I mean, a scallop can just be so pretty. Nice and seared there. Okay, so we are going to put those there. I'm gonna set this aside. And now we're just waiting for our zucchini to finish up. Now, one good thing about the zucchini is if you do your zucchini before your scallops, this side is delicious at room temperature. It does not need to be warm. So it takes the stress off of trying to get things done at the same time, which is always, I mean, for me, it's like, oh, this is ready, is this ready? So when you can have something kind of cooked a little bit in advance of the main dish, that sure is nice. So now our zucchini are ready. My little stove here has a hard time coming to temperature, but this is good. They're cooked down and there's some little golden brown. You can go for a little bit more of a little brown to your zucchini, but oh, we want to toss. Very important step too. We want to get right in here. These are some crushed cashews, and I'm going to sprinkle them right into our, you don't need a ton, just a little bit. Give it a toss in that oil with the zucchini. And that, you guys, this is a delicious kind of salad, if you will. It's so good. Okay, so let's serve this. Look how pretty. Yes. Okay, so what I love about this combination is that you've got this spectacular crispy scallops, tender on the inside, these tender zucchini with a little bit of crispiness from the cashews. I'll top it with a little bit of cashews just for some pretty effect there. Ah, so good. Okay, look how easy that was. This is like a 10-minute deal. Let's give it a try. All right. So I'm gonna cut this where y'all can see it. So scallops, don't be intimidated by them. You just, a nice pan sear and adding that little bit of paprika and just sauteing it right in the oil like that, a little salt and pepper. They're delicious. And the paprika and the salt and pepper just kind of bring out the flavors, the natural flavors of the scallop without it being overwhelming. Yeah. It was so good. And then with this zucchini cashew salad on the side, and again, without the stress of worrying that it's right off of the stove. It was a perfect combination. And it was so easy to make. Right there on the skillet, right to your plate for dinner. And look how pretty. This looks gourmet. Well, it is, but it's so simple. Who knew, right? So get some scallops. Go get you some wild-caught scallops if you can. If you see them, grab them. A little bit of zucchini, some cashews. Enjoy. Let me know if you make this. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I would love to see that. And thank you so much for watching. Buon appetito.